everyone, and welcome back to 417 Fox, your channel for the automotive DIY enthusiast. On today's video is paint booth assembly time. I'm going to take you through the whole process of us getting out here and putting up that modular DIY paint booth. It actually went up a lot easier than I expected. Probably the hardest part about putting this booth up was getting that plastic overhead. The rain didn't help, but you know, we got it done. But I would say of the whole assembly process of that paint booth, getting that plastic overhead with just two people was probably the most difficult. But other than that, it was actually really easy to put that booth up. Did not take us long at all. Also, I did want to give a quick shout out to my buddy over at Cobra's LXs and GTs, which I happen to be wearing his shirt. Thank you for giving that to me. It also says Fox Life on the back. You'll also want to go check out his channel over at Cobra's LXs and GTs. He's got some really cool videos. Also, I can't hardly keep up with what he's selling, what he's keeping. Also, right now he's in the middle of painting a cool car, so you want to check him out. Go over check out Cobra's LXs and GTs. Let's get to the video.
What's up, guys? Today is assembly day. What we've done, we've already got all the walls built, and now we're ready to go ahead and stick it together. This is going to be a 2 to 3 person job. I'll probably have my daughter come out and help us just to get the first 2 walls put together. I've got a tarp laid out on the ground. This is the biggest one you can buy at Harbor Freight. It's going to be just a little bit short, unless I was originally going to do a 24 foot long, but I decided to go ahead and do 32, and this thing is like right at 29 feet. So I'll take a couple more tarps, put it here at the end as we get to the end of it. We're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to work on we're going to start in this far corner over here and start getting the back wall and one side wall up. And these things should go together pretty quick. We're just going to screw them together with a couple of screws, and we should have a pretty good structure. I'm going to bring you up here and we'll get started. All right, it's time to get the corner wall set up first. I got the A-team out here with me. They're going to help me get started. Then it should just take 2 people from here. All right, that didn't take us long at all to get to this point. I will give you one tip though. When you're putting these walls up, especially if there's any wind going, go ahead and get your cross braces up as you go, because we ran into a little bit of difficulty and had to kind of scramble and get those put up with the walls really kind of starting to wave with the wind blowing here pretty good today. So we're going to get back at it, and we should have this up here in the next 30 minutes.
Alrighty, it's the next day. We actually had to cut it short yesterday. We had to go help Peyton out with some things. Also, I decided to go ahead and pick up some different plastic. Now, all the plastic that I have on the walls is 3 mils, which is fine. I wished I would have went ahead and did the 6 mil as well, but that's what we had, so that's what we went with. But I got to thinking about the roof, and it's plenty wide enough, and it's 3 mil as well. But I'm thinking 3 mil stretched on this amount may be a little bit too thin, so I went ahead and went to Menards and picked up some 6 mil plastic. And guys, just like when you're doing projects, you kind of, as you're doing the project, you figure out different and better ways to do things. I got to thinking, these cross supports, they really need to be turned on their sides. So I'm going to flip them on their sides this morning. That way they don't sag once I put the cross support in here. And that will give a little bit more structural rigidity so they don't sag. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to be ready to go ahead and put the plastic on the top. Alrighty, it's the next day. We actually had to cut it short yesterday. We had to go help Peyton out with some things. Also, I decided to go ahead and pick up some different plastic. Now, all the plastic that I have on the walls is 3 mils, which is fine. I wished I would have went ahead and did the 6 mil as well, but that's what we had, so that's what we went with. But I got to thinking about the roof, and it's plenty wide enough, and it's 3 mil as well. But I'm thinking 3 mil stretched on this amount may be a little bit too thin, so I went ahead and went to Menards and picked up some 6 mil plastic.
So we've got all of those fixed. As I mentioned, we've got our crossboard up for support. This is also going to help me when I go hang the lights in here. Now I've got my 6mm plastic here on the floor. We went ahead and rolled it out. Now Angel's going to be on the outside of the boot down here at the end, and I'm going to hand that over to her, and then I'm going to loop it over each one of the cross supports, and then we should be able to fold it out. It's 20 foot wide, and we'll have 2 foot hangover on either side. I don't plan on doing any stapling up top. We should just be able to attach it to each side wall as it drapes over. So here we go. As you can see, I'm in an enclosed booth right now. There's no way with the 3mm plastic that would have ever worked up top. I am so glad I went ahead and picked up that 6mm plastic, because you really have to do a lot of tugging and pulling to get it taut. I'm sure there could be some improvements done, but I went ahead and stuck with the plan. It does pretty good. If I do get any sagging, and if we get any rain, I can always just take a broom and it comes off there really easy. But it's really taut right now. Now, as you can see, I'm soaking wet. It decided to rain while we started putting this up, which made it a lot more fun while we were trying to battle the water and trying to get this plastic pulled tight. But it turned out really good. We've got about a 2 foot overhang on either side. We've got about a 1 foot crooked overhang on the other side. 1 foot on one side, 2 foot on the other. Hey, it don't matter. It's going to be functional, and this will do really good, and it will be sealed up tight once we get done. What we're going to do right now is all of these boxes for our fans. We're going to go ahead and picture frame those out with duct tape, and then we're going to go ahead and cut that hole open, and then I'll show you how that fan and that filter sits in that hole. Alright guys, we've got all of our holes cut. Now you'll see we picture framed that with the duct tape and then cut on the inside of the duct tape. That way this gives us one whole duct tape width all the way around the fan. That'll give the fan something to press up against to. So I'll take you on the outside where we sit the fan in here, and I'll show you how that will work. So we've got our standard exhaust. So we've got our standard exhaust air booth filters here. You notice one side is a little finer. That actually will go on the outside, so the fluffier stuff, which is going to catch your all of your overspray, come through here first, and then it'll get to this last. So we'll sit that in here just like this. I'm going to run all my electrical on the inside. I'm going to lay the cord in there. Put our filter right there. Stand right against it. Now to hold this tight, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take some string, take a couple of screws, wrap the string around the screw, and that'll take care of that. She is, folks. Do this 8 more times, run the cords on the inside, and we'll be ready to have some exhaust.
Alright, I hope you enjoyed the assembly part of this paint booth. On the next video, I'm actually going to take you through a full tour of the paint booth, show you some modifications that we made, and also we'll do a test in it where we'll go ahead and get those parts sprayed and test it out and see just how well it works. You'll want to stick around for that one. And guys, just remember, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button if this is the kind of stuff that you like to watch, and I'll see you on the next one.